Greetings, folks. This is Tim from Box Stock Garage. Welcome back to another update on the 2025 Rally Cool Rally Car Group Build. This is hosted by the guys over at the Scale Model Car Podcast. You got Bryan from BG's Model Workshop. You got Chuck from Chuck's Hobby Spot. You got Matt from the Lucas C channel, and of course you got Jason from the Blue Ox Model Shop. And yes, the reason I'm looking over there is because I've got it on the screen and I'm cheating because I'm old. So, hey buddy, you can come up and say hi? Guess who's here? So, got some more work done on this. Got the wheels and tires on it, got them weathered. Unfortunately, it happened in that order, so that was fun. And got the well, I'm just going to turn this around and show it to you instead of talking about it. Thanks. Be right back. All right, so we're back. So, so I've got the interior tub, that was all finished. Well, that's attached now. Got the radiator in. And like I said, I got the wheels and tires done. And they're also weathered up. Love my Tamiya weathering set. With the kit, they include, I got another spare piece over here. They include this rubber material. And there's a few things you're supposed to cut out. One of them is this rubber protective flap that goes over the rear rear end housing. So you basically cut it, you cut a hole. So this is just, you cut literally a rectangle of this, and then you get a couple holes in there to go onto the pins. One that you see here that I painted black, and the other one is under the exhaust. And then you kind of freehand cut a hole with a slice through it there, kind of snake it under, attach it to those pins and glue it down. So I did that, and then of course I weathered that as well. So pretty happy with all that. The body, I got 2 coats of yellow on this. Now this is interesting because they, in the instructions, and we'll address the kind of crappy blue here in a moment, but the instructions call for all this to be flat black. However, when you look at the box art, it's all blue. So, and that's, because of the blue that's going to be kind of going all over it with the various decals. So I went with blue. This is the first coat, and yeah, it looks kind of crappy. It's got to be cleaned up. But this over here is the second coat. So that looks a bit better. And again, when you get the blue next to it, it's pretty close. So yeah, liking that. This just drops on. There is some pins at the front, so I don't want to go all the way down, but kind of get the idea. That will drop a bit further down. Really very good way to connect. So if you look, you see a little hole here and here, and then at the back there's a couple of notches in there. And so basically there's a pin here and a pin here. They go into the front, and then at the back, this piece that sticks out here, that just kind of lays in between those 2 notches. So there's no gluing that's needed. I mean, literally, I've put it on and taken it off a couple times. I just don't want to keep doing that because I don't want to screw it up. Speaking of the rubber, the other thing that they have you do is cut out mud flaps. Okay, so this is the piece I just told you about, that we showed you. And then they have you cut out these mud flaps. Well, I don't keep my instructions in pristine shape, as evidenced by that. But I don't want to go cutting them out either. So what I did, and this is something that you can do with other instructions where you've got to, have a template and cut something out. I scanned this. I've got a scanner. You could do this with your phone as well. So, this little tip, you don't have to go out and buy a scanner, or you don't have to say, I don't have a scanner, I can't do this. It just might be a bit of trial and error using a phone. But I scanned this, and then I printed it out, cut out this section, and this is the trial and error piece if you're doing this with a phone. When you print it, you just measure it. You go, okay, yep, this is the right size. This is a little too big, a little too small. If it's too big or too small, load it up in your computer, make it bigger or smaller as needed. So once that's done, then what I did was, if you imagine this from here over, this is my leftover rubber, and I took my printed out pieces, this whole piece, and I stapled it to the rubber. So you ended up with, as you see here. So what I did was I put a staple here, and I put one here. So then I just took my scissors and I carefully cut between, and I cut between, and then I kind of went up the sides and across the bottom. So now I've got one hunk here that's stapled and one hunk here. And then I just did a bit of careful trimming with my scissors. And then these little sections here I did with my hobby knife. And so now, these things are, they're not too bad. So honestly, when you look at this, there's hardly any difference. If you look at F, so these in my hand, these are the two pieces that are F. And if you look at D, the only difference is the D you see is a little bit taller. So these, I haven't gone back and double checked, but I'm pretty certain that F are going to be the two for the front, and then D are going to be the two at the back. So I'm going to do a quick check to make sure, and yeah, I am correct. So here's F at the front, D at the back. Very small plastic pieces, which I've already painted up. And those are basically, kind of the brackets. So what you end up with when you glue these in is this right here. So that's the little plastic piece kind of holding it all together. So it's pretty cool. It's definitely going to add some realism. I'm pretty jazzed about that. But that's just a little tip that you can take away for if you have to, if you've got material and you need to cut it, and it's in your instructions, and you don't want to chop up your instructions or anything like that. Again, scanner is a lot easier because it will do a one-to-one. But you can also take a picture with your phone. Like I said, you can do some printing and modify it if needed, or even some of the programs you can obviously get dimensions on things just to make sure you're right. So coming along really good. I think I've got had to cut a couple holes in the roof, and that is for these air vents. Couldn't put them in yet because there is a piece of photo etch grill that will go in there, but then these will just sit. I'll just hold one on here. Probably not. Probably drop it, but at least it's bright yellow. So, you're going to have this guy with that photo etch grill. So the air vents. It's quite funny. They do have you, do up a mirror, just one mirror, and that is for the driver's side. But the funny part about this is, once again, on the box art, so let me get the box art over here and zoom out a little bit. Doink. Mirror got ripped off in the rally. So I'm not sure, honestly, if I'm going to put the mirror on. There is no passenger mirror. They actually tell you in the instructions, leave that out. But I'm not sure if I'm going to put the mirror on, because I am weathering this thing, or if I'm going to leave the mirror off, kind of paint that little triangle flat black and have the bolts in the background. I'm not sure yet, but I just thought that was pretty cool. And here you can see those two air vents that I just mentioned. So there's not a lot left. There's clear parts left to put on here, and there's painting. You can see down here part of the trim got torn off. Can't really do that, but you know. And honestly, looking at this, it looks like where that trim is torn off, it also looks like the flap is gone, the mud flap. So, and it's hard to tell, but I'm sure there is one at the back. But either way, I'm getting a bit too far down that rabbit hole now. But yeah, I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do there. But what's left? Again, painting, body painting, flat black. I'm going to do the blue like I just talked about. There is clear parts and there's photo etch parts. So there's photo etch hood pins, photo etch fronts for the air vents. And there is a piece of photo etch that goes in behind the grill area. Okay. So that when you're looking through, you're actually going to see the photo etch, and behind the photo etch is going to be the grill itself. So that's where we're at. I'm pretty jazzed with this thing. I'm having a lot of fun. I got my oh yeah, I got a rear view mirror up there. Forgot about that. And I've got my two windshield wipers. Doink. So that's about it. And then, of course, after that, going to be a lot of decals. Get the glass put in and then start decaling. But once I get this blue done and solid, so it doesn't look quite as, hey, look what I did with crayons, I'm going to shoot clear on the body. Then I'm going to do my decals. And again, I got to do the black up the side and around the front. Then I'm going to shoot clear on it, do my decals, and shoot another round of clear. Put on antenna, windscreen wipers, various photo etch, button her up. So getting kind of close for our Subaru Legacy RS from the 1992 Rally Australia. So thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it. And hope that little tip maybe gives you a couple of ideas as far as cutting things out and attaching them to your model. And yeah, that's about it. So once again, all of the likes, the subs, the shares, all that stuff, really, the comments, really appreciate all of those. Do remember to head over to scalefinishes.com and check out their site, Jameston's site. Use code BOXTALK10, get 10% off over there. Of course, Gaahleri Airbrush, Gaahleri.com. They've got their big launch of their paints going on, and they've got great prices on the paints, great prices on airbrushes, compressors, the paint pens, which, you know, I've used a few of them on this build. So, yep, definitely head over to Gaahleri.com, enter code BOX to get 10% off there. There's also a code in the description for their Amazon store, so you can use that as well. So always thanking the supporters of the channel. and of course, thanking you, my subscribers. So thank you very much. And once again, prayers to those who need them. There's quite a few people out there in our community right now who are hurting. And we just want to take a moment and think about them and send out some positive thoughts and some prayers to them. If you're not a praying person, that's cool, but just take a moment to think about those folks. I'm sure they would appreciate it, as would I. So that's about it. So this is Tim from Box Stock Garage. Key came in, said hi, and left. We're out of here.